would way rather be in Speranza heading to the top side, but it's nice to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah. I would much also rather be playing Arc Raiders, but we're going to do this instead. We're going to have an Arc Raiders dedicated episode when we have Turner on.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be good. And, we'll talk about all the juicy drama. Our first guest had to be Dick, my father, kind of all of our dads or stepdads, depending on how much he hit you and beat you up at my house over the years.
He's kind of like my parents. Well, he'll deny ever beating any of us.
Yeah.
But he definitely did.
We got Merrick, of course, over there. He's quiet for now. So what are you throwing at us?
Throwing ducks at us. His miniature ducks.
Oh, that's nice.
Well,
that's better than a lot of the things he's thrown at us.
I would like to open this up by saying welcome back to the SquadCast episode 2. Today we're featuring Mr. Dick Savage, aka
Mike Honcho,
aka Tifu's dad, aka
Dick Savage.
It started out as Joogsquad dad. You know that?
Yeah, I do remember
and
that.
The reason it went to Tifu's dad is he got banned on all the platforms, and the media there was no way to get in contact with him. There was no spokesman, so I did Tifu's dad so I could get the information that was being relayed inaccurately.
That's a long way to say that you did it for the clout.
Before we even get into any of that, I always refer to Dick as my white dad because I have a brown dad, believe it or not. And
Pedro, shout out.
Yeah, shout out Pedro. And the things I learned from my brown dad are very different than the things I learned from Dick. And one of my favorite Dick teachings was way back in the day. It was when I first started dating my chick, and he goes, "Listen, son." He goes, "Eating ain't cheating, and sucking ain't fucking." I was like, dude.
You want to know my favorite Dick line? The problem with whores is they all think they're not.
That had to do with married women. You forgot to put that in.
Yeah. Okay. Does that make it better or worse? I don't know.
My favorite was probably, "You better finish college, get a job at Publix, or become famous." That was it. Those were my options.
Look, to put this back on track, right, I actually do have some questions, and these questions are in lieu of some of the things that are happening around Faze Clan, because at the time when Turner was blowing up, Dick was very involved in all of that, and I remember a very specific scenario where we were at a bar during the World Cup, and Richard almost got into a fist fight, dude. Do you remember that?
I remember that. Dude, Lee Trink, that guy
house.
Sucks. No, this was in New York.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about in New York when you got in a screaming match with FaZe Bank. I don't know how much Dick's allowed to talk about.
Let me clarify the air.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. This is very simple. I walked through this gang of guys that was there, and they were calling themselves like a clan. And the last time I dealt with a clan, it was the Ku Klux Klan, which were really effed up people. But these guys weren't. They just were big galoots. So I went to get some food, and I came back, and there was 2 very lovely ladies by the bar, and I said, "Why don't you have a drink? I'll buy you 100 drinks." And I look to my right, and it's the guy, Banks, steaming mad that I'm stealing his broads. And he says, "Don't talk to him. Do you know who he is?" And I go, "How about I knock you the F out, buddy?" And the only thing I could do, because there was at least 10 guys behind him, there was a plate glass behind me, and the guy's 6'5". I was going to grab him and throw him through the plate glass, and I was going to end up on top of him on the taxis down below. There was no other way I was going to die because there was too many of them. Well, just when somebody started to swing, a hand came up, and it looked like I'm this big. And he goes, "I'm Banks's father." And I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Leave my son alone." I went, "Okay," and walked away. And Jack's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, I don't know. I was trying to pick up Banks's girls. I didn't know they were his girls.
There you
True
go.
story.
Yeah, I was there. I witnessed part of that. You were there too, right?
Yeah.
He was mad at me because I'm yelling at them. I go, big deal. What are you going to do, Banks? Come over here and beat my... And he went around the building in the hotel and trashed people's rooms that night.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get to beat me up.
I didn't hear about that. I would like to say, before we dive into this very engaging, juicy topic, I really do genuinely like most of the guys with Faze Clan. Like, Faze Rug is honestly one of the nicest dudes I've ever met personally. You know, I got along with Adapt really well all the time I spent out there. I got along with pretty much all those guys. Now, from a business standpoint, I despise almost everything that they've done in terms of contractual obligations and the way that they negotiate their deals and negotiate their contracts and just the way that they treat their talent. I strongly, strongly disagree with most of the tactics that they used to keep people in their contracts. And I'm just honestly really happy that that is not happening to people anymore. And whether people can have whatever opinion they want. That was a really, really big moment for every kid sitting at home that wants to be like who Turner is, to be aware that these contracts can really, really be nasty.
The problem is, even after that Turner thing, it still happened again with this whole like new round of creators. And like, for those of you that are tapped in and like give a shit, for those of you that are unemployed, it's been a crazy fallout again. Like all of Faze Clan left as of like literally today. Today I saw a tweet that Apex, one of the founding members of Faze, left. Blackboy Max, all of them left, right? And it's like, and now Ricky's on Twitter, like trying to save his ass again for the 4th time this year. And it's like, I was talking to somebody the other day and I was like, look, the thing is, if you find yourself in that position where you have to fight for your own life on Twitter a couple times a year, it's this thing called inertia, right? Where like, if you're a good person for long enough, eventually it'll pay off, like in the future.
And people just
right?
have
It's
your back.
inertia,
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, but if you're a bad person for long enough, you could be a bad person that wins for a really long time. But again, the inertia will catch up to you. And that's just what keeps happening to him. I mean, this year, dude, like I'm going to say he got fucked, but like it was his own doing. Like the crypto shit, like from a couple months ago, the Faze thing several times this year. And it's like, dude, like genuinely, if you lead with people's best interests and like are actually not a piece of shit, life isn't that bad, dude. Maybe you'll make a little bit less money, but like at least it's sustainable and you won't be the butt of a joke now. I mean, dude, there's so many tweets and so many videos I see of people making fun of him for like being like 35, being at a net spend concert, like whatever. Like I just, the public perception of Banks has definitely changed recently, and it's really fucking funny.
I never disliked him as a person throughout all the years that I spent out in LA, like with Turner, until the Dear Tifu video, where he just lied through his teeth for 40 minutes and it's like, I never, it's like, dude, you were at our house a week ago and we told you if you don't release him from the contract, it's going to have to be a legal disagreement and we're going to have to agree to disagree and it's going to have to go to the next level. And then that video comes out and he's like, I never saw this coming and blah, blah, blah. And just, I don't even remember a single word that he said in that video, that 40-minute video, the last video that he uploaded to his YouTube channel that's still up to this day. But I just remember never watching a video and feeling so mad and like somebody that I thought I knew was just like,
So what do we teach the kids? Don't sign contracts.
Don't sign contracts.
Like, definitely don't
In
sign
perpetuity.
contracts to take large amounts of your profit or your money, like margins, like, a couple percent maybe, but don't be signing these contracts that take 20, 30, 40, 50% of what you're making. Even if you're little.
Let's just start with read the contract.
Yeah,
well, there's also
absolutely
no shame in asking someone else to read it, too.
100%.
Like, no shame. I send my contracts to my dad, to a couple people that I'm not going to name just for anonymity purposes, but like people that understand these things a lot better than I do. I feel like I have some sort of a grasp on it, but like the second I get a contract, I'm like, all right, this is going to take a couple of weeks just to make sure that I put it in enough people's hands to where I feel comfortable signing it myself,
Yeah.
you know?
It's like, don't let anybody take your sponsors.
Ask your parents.
Yeah,
ask your
you know.
older brother. Ask your friend's older brother who's just smart, you know? Ask a smart person for advice.
Don't let them have creative control. Don't let them tell you what you can do or say in a video. You know,
You're not allowed to
look
say
at
that,
these
Merrick.
things.
Remember that?
Just for the
That
record,
deal that we signed.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
I'm unable to discuss any of those events in particular.
I
But
am allowed
I
to,
will say
however,
this.
because I never was a part of the lawsuit.
I love Banks and I love Faze Clan. And I'd love to go out with that girl Banks went out with. Alyssa, if
Which
you're
one?
listening, hit me up on my Instagram.
the legal one?
That is.
I just
She's
think
like
it's
30 at this point.
I think it's unfortunate that people who are like really awesome, like Rug, are gonna get kind of like drugged through the mud, though.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys that have been with Faze, that were with Faze, that genuinely are just good dudes, just trying to like take the right step in their career. In social media, there's just always been an incredible amount of mismanagement there. Just like,
Look.
and that is astonishing to me.
It's
Absolutely
not a
astonishing.
big deal. They just went through a bad phase.
They've also all been in the controversy
Be the
for a
final
while.
phase.
Couple
Yo,
years now.
So to turn this conversation back into, you know, having Richard be our guest here, my next question for him is, do you remember like what would you say is like your favorite moment, like with all three of us? I know obviously Jack's your kid, so like what's your favorite Merrick moment? What's your favorite Edwin moment over like the last decade of us existing in your
And
life?
you guys think of your favorite Dick moment.
I
Because
have mine.
Okay, all right.
I have mine.
Give us some highlights, Dick. Maybe we can send the editors some links and show some on-screen
flip 'em
videos of what
in
he's
there.
talking about.
Particulars aren't important. It's a feeling. And when you guys were doing your thing, and I was getting 5 to 6 pounds on the door a day from cops, and they got, to their credit, they never got arrested or a ticket, ever. But the cops would come.
I went to jail.
But it was the embodiment of making it the moment that was cool. And I always go back to Liam, because I saw Liam as this incredible, he had the moment. He could create it wherever and whatever you put him in. And I still think that video where he did the fell in the street,
Falling grandma.
and then he went on the dock at Clearwater Marina, is the finest piece ever put out.
Yeah.
Because the kid
He embodied
had
it.
no direction.
Yeah.
He was just what all you were.
Yeah.
And that was a defining moment, I thought.
He really made the beer mug prank video too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Liam
He
wasn't
did,
there. Like
he
Turner
did.
and Alex were
Yeah.
not talking.
Yeah, the
shit.
cops called
Wait.
him a fucking retard.
Yeah.
Liam
Well,
Gallagher.
yeah,
rest in
that
peace.
actual, when he said that, I knew you guys were going to go right up then.
Yeah.
I had
You
that
know?
video sitting for 2 weeks. We filmed a stolen longboard prank. We were always trying to film like whatever we could anytime we went out, like our series of Disturbing the Beach.
Yeah.
It was as many pranks as we could film. So while we're doing the stolen longboard, a cop's driving, and we have the beer mugs. And I'm like, go act drunk
Dude,
in
we had
front of
to
the
convince
cop.
them. We had
And
to
they
convince
didn't
them to
want to
go.
go, and we like literally shoved them and pushed them, and they went and did it with an iPhone recording in their pocket for audio because we didn't have lavalier microphones yet. And I'm standing on a bench 2 blocks away, zoomed in as far as I can, because our number one rule, if there are police, keep recording the whole time. But they're such grommets, they didn't even explain to me how crazy it was.
Yeah.
So I edited all these other videos. I finally get to that. And as each minute passed by, I'm just becoming progressively more amazed at like how insane that reaction was, with like her calling him a retard and them bullying him and saying that they smelled weed and they had weed on him, and then the coolest cop ever swinging it. And it was just like, I sat on that for weeks, like having no idea that was going to be one of the greatest videos that we ever made. And it was, and it still is one of the greatest videos ever.
Merrick, when he did the bush, was brilliant, and then some of the things on the golf course were just
Like that time we're in 3 different trees telling people they dropped something over and over again. Yeah. That's got to be one of the funniest moments ever.
We had those people for like 5 to 10 minutes, like looking for something.
Well, that's another testament is like some of our best videos ever are completely improvised, like on the spot shotgun, just like go for it.
Oh my God. Do you remember the time we were in downtown Clearwater and there's a lady on a Segway and I was sketching behind her on my skateboard and she fucking crashed?
Yes.
And she was like, my leg.
And then Merrick got pissed because everybody started blaming him.
Yeah.
I just saved her ankle.
And your magic moment was you coming out and going on your back on the trampoline.
Oh my God.
In the water.
Oh my God.
That was so unbelievable.
Wait, when?
When we hit the water
on the trampoline, but it was like fucking cement.
Oh yeah, that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And Turner's like tried to catch you.
Yeah, I remember that. No, I will say like the pool days were some of my favorite days, dude. Like all dude, the thing is like, I remember I learned how to do backflips and just like trampoline shit because of you guys. And you know what it was? Okay, so like just for some context, we have this friend, his name's Andrew, we call him Jugman, and him and this other kid named Ant, which is also like they're tied.
Even dumber.
They're tied. They have 2 brain cells and they rub them together. Like
no, Jugman makes money and Anthony thinks he's a pimp and has prostitutes.
No, Jugman has definitely like become, you know, a person
functioning
now.
member of society.
Leaves his keys in the trash can. Ant doesn't have any keys.
So with that said, like one day we were in the backyard.
That's worse.
And everyone started doing backflips and like Ant and Jugman, I believe, were doing backflips off the corner of their roof. And I just like couldn't get over like my fear of backflips. And you know, Jack came up to me, he goes, dude, if Ant can do a backflip, you can do a backflip. And I was like, that's the truest shit you've ever said. And that is when I started, you know.
Do you remember your
gainer?
Last unsuccessful gainer attempt?
Yes, dude.
Before you stuck it?
Yes. I remember. I jumped off.
That's one of my favorite clips of all time. I don't know. I have to find that.
One of my favorite me clips of all time is when Turner took the water balloon with hot sauce and threw it like he was a professional baseball player. It had to be going 90 miles an hour, and it hit me so fucking hard in the face.
Full of hot sauce,
dude. And the first thing I said to him, I was like, Turner, if this was anybody but you, I would be murdering you right now. And I just like fucking.
How about the time the 3 of us wanted to kill each other? And we had to delete the video.
In the pool?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was gonna say that was my favorite dick moment.
Literally had to delete it. No, each of us wanted to kill each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it really got unhinged. I'd never seen him that or him.
I already left.
Yeah.
Thank God
I
you left
that night.
Bro,
I wasn't feeling good.
It was not good. We literally deleted the clip. So
I deleted the live stream.
Dude, listen, I was gonna
called
say
each other every name ever known.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Except for one.
It was wet.
No, that one too. I was calling him that one a lot. No, dude, listen. I was gonna say my favorite dick moment was we were doing this trapped in the pool challenge where we couldn't get out and it was basically torture. And I don't remember what the fuck happened, but Richard like started throwing shit at me, and like I was like
you were burning his cushion.
We had eggs.
You had his cushion you're using as a block. He had just bought it brand new.
We had eggs from the dollar store that were juvenile and they wouldn't break. They'd hit you like a rock and then fall on the ground. And you'd throw it again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but
I remember
those.
Yeah,
but
those things were like
yeah,
rocks.
I remember that. Okay, so Richard was hitting us with fireworks, and I had a pad, like one of these, like a cushion to protect myself. And Richard's like, I just fucking bought that, and he starts ripping it away from me, and he starts hitting me with some shit.
Yep.
Like I remember, I was like a wooden something. He starts fucking hitting me, and I started losing my mind, bro. I'm like, I will kick your dad's ass. I was like, Jack, I have never wanted to fight your dad ever. I was like, I'm not one of those friends of yours, dude. I was like, but this is it. I was like, I'm gonna scrap with Richard right now. And then Jack was like, he's just trying to get you to leave, dude. Because like the whole challenge was like, it was last to leave. It was like last to leave the pool. He's like, dude, he's like, don't give in. He's just trying to get you to leave, dude. Don't get into his mind games. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, has Richard successfully mind gamed me to try to get me to leave? And I was like, fuck that. I'm staying. And I stayed the whole time. But then what was fucked up was at the very, very end of that whole challenge, somebody donated money for us to take laxatives.
The very end? You mean 13 hours into a 24-hour challenge?
Okay, so listen, somebody had paid for us to take laxatives, and I'm like, I've never taken a laxative in my life. I was like, fuck it. So I take one. Nothing happens for a bunch of hours. I'm like,
Bitch takes 5.
No, listen. I was like, I took one. I was like, nothing happened in like 3 hours. So somebody donated for more laxatives. I was like, dude, fuck it. I was like, the first one didn't do shit. I was like, this isn't gonna do shit either. So I take like a couple more. I was like, fuck it. Oh my fucking God, dude. Turner hosted us, right?
No, Turner was streaming for 65,000 people when you exited the pool to go violate his toilet.
Dude, dude, literally, the moment he hosted us for like 60,000 people was the moment my body decided it was fucking time. And I ran out of the pool, dude. I was like, I lose the challenge.
I'm asleep on the trampoline above the muck water.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I lose the challenge. I was like, I don't give a fuck, dude. And I definitely shit myself on the way to the fucking bathroom. Yep. And then I'm just blowing up this toilet. And then Turner's done streaming. He tries opening the door. I'm like, fuck you, Turner. I'm like trying to keep the door closed with my fucking foot. He's dying because he hears me exploding in there. Dude, it was brutal, bro.
And then you're in the bathroom defiling the toilet. Turner has just hosted us to like one of the largest streams in history. Like 70,000 people is up there as the top 1% of live streams ever. They go from Turner playing video games to me laying face down on a trampoline in a cesspool full of nonsense with a bunch of shit written on the walls. Turner walks into frame and goes, hey Jack, I just hosted you. And I'm like, what's up, everybody? And I just like wake up out of my sleep and just start, doing the thing because that was insane.
Since that
didn't
challenge,
we make $15,000?
We made a lot. We made a lot of money, and the thing is, like, since that challenge, like you have brought up doing it again, and in my head, I'm like, I'm never going through that again, dude.
You've never seen this clip on any of our videos, but one of my favorite dick memories is a long time ago. Me and Jack were at Dick's house on Reddington Beach in my old truck. You
got to let him tell that story.
You want to tell that story?
We'll let Edwin finish his real quick.
All right.
No, go for it. I'll segue into my story.
bad. I totally forgot you were the middle one.
So, Dick, about that time
this guy pull up with his weird ass hair and his truck, and I went and got my baseball bat, and I walked around on the driver's side, and I stuck it in the window, and I said, if you're messing around with pot, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Now you give me your
the other side of the story is Jack was like, you want to smoke a blunt? I'll roll the blunt. I got he brought weed. Jack brought the weed. And I bought the blunt.
Yeah,
and Jack's like,
right.
I'm going to roll this up. I had no idea how to roll a blunt. So Jack's like, I'm going to roll this blunt up. You watch for my dad. So like we're parked right out front looking at the house. And I'm like watching the front door. This dude sneaks outside out the back of his house in his underwear with a baseball bat. And I'm like watching straight ahead. He knocks on my window. We look over and he's just right there at the side of the truck. And I swear, like, Jack pushed his whole, like, everything down into, like, between the seats. And he just freaked out. He's like, I'm going to shove this baseball bat up your ass. You're getting my son high. You're showing him weed.
And the big side, not the small handle side.
No, it was the big side for sure.
Dude, if I had a nickel for every time I've watched Richard threaten like a 15-year-old
to beat the shit out of someone.
It's usually, yeah, dude. Like, but I remember one time we were at Dick's house, and he was like just generally mad at something, and I was sitting on the trampoline minding my own business. He was mad at Ant, bro. Ant like came inside and was like eating his food or some shit. He was like just mad at Ant.
Yeah.
And I think he just like hated Ant, and I get it. Like we kind of all do. And so I'm sitting there. And it was like we were having a little pool session. I was sitting on the trampoline, and he's like walking around, and he points at me. He goes, "And you, what the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "Me?" I was like, "What the fuck did I do?" I was like, "Bro."
There was one time he was hating on Ant real bad, and we were having a party at the beach house, and Ant wore a mask. Ant was the only person.
He wore a full body Gumby costume.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was walking around
just so that he could be there.
Nobody knew who he was. Indicated him. Yeah. Oh, I see him, I'm going to kill him. And he was in the costume the whole time.
I got to say, one of my favorite moments ever was when we shut down the whole beach and like kicked everyone off the beach because they made the beach laws private and we thought it was bullshit. So we shut it down ourselves to provoke a reaction to get more publicity on something. And then I started emailing all the news as fake aliases, one of which was Mike Honcho. which if you haven't seen Talladega Nights, like, I'm sorry, that's on you. And the moment I'm sitting in there filming the TV with my phone, with my camera, and Dick pops up, and then like the name bar rolls across the screen, and then Mike Hacho pops up. I remember just like in that moment, like knowing this shit was gonna go so viral and was gonna be so funny that like it was gonna be one of the greatest videos we've ever filmed. And that like I there's a video of me running, dancing around the house, like, oh my god, and I'm like thinking about all these people that work at the news station that are gonna feel like fucking idiots for not realizing that Mike Hacho spread his butt cheeks for Playgirl magazine.
On the topic of favorite Dick moments and memories, there's this one time back in the day where
Don't savor Dick too much.
all right. There's this time back in the day where Jack had this trampoline that he bought, and he was so fucking stoked on it. It was like not a regular trampoline. It was like a
$3,000 or something like that.
It was like a really expensive Olympic trampoline.
Rectangle.
Yeah, it was yeah. So it was like a really fancy one. He was really stoked on it, and we were doing like a bunch of like the trampoline versus series. Like, you know, we used it for some of that, and like he just fucking loved that.
Learned to do double backflips.
Dude, you have it to this day, right?
Yes, it's still fire. Like,
Yeah.
I just need to buy new springs for it, but like that
So
thing will last forever, I think.
So Jack left to like LA or something, and Richard's like, he's like, well, he's not here, and the show must go on, so we have to film some shit while he's gone. And
What,
he's
what,
like,
what could he think of? What could he possibly think of?
And he
the
goes-
1 week I'm gone.
he goes, I have 50 gallons of mayonnaise. I'm like, what? He goes, we're doing trampoline versus mayonnaise. Come over. And I'm like,
And let me just add one point. There are 20 trampolines in
Yeah.
the backyard at that
Yeah.
point. Like 20, all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Big ones, small ones, oval ones, rectangle ones. Only one of them costs more money than the rest of them put together. And that's the one
Yep.
that Dick decided they were going to put the 50 gallons of mayonnaise on.
did you ever? You know what? There was
I was
also
pissed.
Yeah,
That
he
smell.
was so fucking mad.
was
He was
pissed.
so mad. And then to follow that up, Richard's next bright
You
idea.
also left it an extra day.
Oh, it smelled so
you
bad.
jumped in it and then said, we're going to come back. Just leave it. And the second day, that was one of the foulest smelling.
You
and
had a
jumped
girl
in it.
off the beach come up and jump into the because we did the
foulness.
Orbeez first, and there was
Yeah,
a pool full of
yeah,
Orbeez,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the mayonnaise went into the pool full of
Yep,
Orbeez.
yep,
So
yep,
they were mayonnaise Orbeez.
Yep.
I think Jay did it too, if I remember.
Nah.
Jay and Edwin both bodied themselves.
Yeah, but listen. So the story doesn't end there, right? So he's like, Jack's gone. We're gonna keep the trampoline versus series going. So we're gonna do trampoline versus mayonnaise. Super gross. I don't even like the fact that maybe the editor has to pull that up for this is like gonna be traumatic. Just like seeing that whole thing again. But Richard followed that up with, we have to do cement next. So we did trampoline versus cement, and I don't think that video ever saw the light of day.
No, it did not.
Yeah. We did trampoline versus cement, and I don't remember if it was on the nice one or not. I don't remember if we did it on the expensive one or one of the not expensive ones.
I remember when Dick faked a letter from the county, from the state, saying that I was going to go to jail as well. That was one of my favorite moments, but it was surely at least a little impressive.
He's a crafty motherfucker, dude. He's
Dick, you never said what my favorite moment was. Your favorite moment of mine. You just talked about them the whole time and then just ignored me like you have my whole life. Tifu's dad.
When I was Joogsquad dad, what happened then?
No. What's the one moment that you remember?
My best. They both were Los Angeles because
Seeing you in
we
handcuffs
weren't around.
just tickled my heart.
We weren't around, so it was really tough when you were gone and you were doing something because they weren't around. I wasn't around. Nobody could watch it. So you were flying from Honolulu and had a 2.5 hour layover in Los Angeles. And I had gotten a call that morning from a guy who said, "It's your son, he's on TV." And I said, "My son is not on TV." And I turned it on immediately, and it's Jake Paul. And the guy Wolf was the reporter, and he's talking to Jake. And he says, "You're terrorizing the neighborhood. They're throwing lit beds in the pool and riding motorcycles." And I I'm like, wait a minute. Jack and the Joogsquad have done a lot more than that, and times 10. What do you mean he's doing? So I get Jack on the phone later in the morning, and I said, I used to live in that part of L.A. It was West Hollywood. I said, you got to go there and get rid of Jake Paul. He goes, I got a 2.5-hour layover. I said, it's plenty of time. You just go there and evict him and throw him out. And he's like, oh, my God. And he calls me back. Okay, I'm going to spend the night here. So he goes out with this character, and they get a microphone and earpiece and a clipboard, and a
fake eviction note.
Eviction note.
Made him look like a city worker. He had a laminated tag on. Yeah, you didn't have to say his name. Bleep that, please.
I said, do it on Friday. It's Friday. I said, do it after 5 o'clock. Because he goes, why? I said, City Hall is closed, and the media will just want to run with the story. Sure enough, he calls the media. We've got a tape of, we think, Jake Paul's getting evicted in West Hollywood. And the funny part was Jake had flown to Miami, was not home, and all the goofy kids that were staying there believed they were getting evicted. And
they did.
And he actually,
Jake was out of town.
He did leave and went to Calabasas about 3 weeks later. So I think even though it wasn't real, it got. But the great one.
My video came out, I think, like a couple
Jack
days.
did.
It got on the news, too. They're like, Jake, an eviction notice was left on the door of Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah, it was a great. You should put that clip in there. And then when he hung that night, his hammock in front of Jake's house at 4 a.m., and the worldwide press picked him up the Globe. He was worldwide hanging out, and he gets on his knees with his hands behind his back like he was arrested.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was
those
just
are fire pictures. That paparazzi really flicked me up on those.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
because you took that idea.
I had just found
and ran
dinosaurs. I found dinosaurs in Wyoming, and then I flew to Hawaii, and then I went from Hawaii to L.A. because I was wearing my dinosaur hunting thing.
Was it
And
in between dinosaurs in Hawaii though? Because when you get sick in Hawaii,
That was a
that
different
trip?
time. That was a prior trip.
You know,
And then the other LA one that was just, I'd say, cinema. His incredible talent of the cameras came into play there. He gets in the thing.
You're
whatever.
talking about
I
the
had
pink-
called
the pink
him and
flamingo.
said I had been at Sam's Club and they had these giant. I mean, they were big. And I said, go to the one there. So he found one, and then they tarred it underneath and went in the water. But what he did to Los Angeles was unmatched. It actually said, because he's going down the river, and the helicopters, the news helicopters, and they're breaking in on TV. People are calling me from L.A., your kid did it. And they called it the greatest slow chase since O.J.
I was going to bring that up and say that's like probably one of the most excited I've ever seen you for something we filmed was Jack and the Flamingo. And you were talking shit about Sandpepper the whole time. And you were so
the
excited
funniest part
that
is
Jack
that-
was on the news.
Well, you're watching
we were
it.
recording.
They dropped your
and
backpack.
like we had GoPros rolling. We had no idea that one of those 3 helicopters was the news and that they were live streaming it to Facebook. So I got to use my GoPro audio with the most legendary drone shot of all time. And you like hear us like doing stuff, and they like zoomed way in, and I cracked open a beer and poured out. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to jail, like that was one of my favorite videos of all time. And it was the 3rd time I floated down the LA River. Because we did it on air mattresses twice before that, then it just didn't go viral because it wasn't a pink flamingo, and the news, and we didn't get pulled over by the police.
And then the one that he hasn't, because he won't find it, there's footage of the guy that died. What's
You and
his
Will?
name? Will comes to my house and he goes, what are you watching? I said, I'm watching on the webcam of the Hollywood sign. It's a live feed, right? And
6
I'm watching
camera angles,
them
too.
do their stuff above it and stuff. And when they got to the thing, we're yelling, You idiot! You don't throw the rope over and pull it. All you needed was, what I had for
Because
the
they
real
obviously
Hollywood
knew how to
side.
do it better than us, who had spent an
Well, of
entire
course.
month plotting and planning.
So
how to
that's
do it.
why we did put the Hollywood sign up a couple weeks ago. Because I did that as a tribute because he came up with all you need is a pulley. So all you needed was pulleys.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
then you
and
can
to
pull the
put
rope
the
and it's
pulleys
nothing to it.
on top of the thing that they see. All we needed was pulleys, but that also required climbing a
If you
50
find
foot,
the tape, we'll give you
55-foot tall Hollywood sign
gave-
and putting the
pulley's
pulley
gotta be at the top.
on top of the sign.
Hey.
Because the pulley has to be at the top, right?
We gave all instructions on how to do it, but you hit.
I
the
got to
tape.
find that footage of Dick and Will
Dick and Will.
filming the computer screen,
I remember
screaming at each other. Rah, 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 rah.
We did a whole monologue.
That should be an upload probably at some point.
Dude, I think to circle it back to like Richard generally, like it's so crazy that like, I know he was giving you shit about getting a job until like this thing blew up or whatever, but I gotta say, dude, like I don't know one fucking person whose parents would allow us to do the fuck shit that we did. Like when it was like going, like when we were like really, really filming shit, like, dude,
Anything went.
Bro, I didn't even tell my parents about any of this shit for a long time. You know how they found out? Like all like really found out and like really looked at some of the shit we were doing? Because like keep in mind, I come from a very ethnic household, and so like it's like go to college, get a job, like
Take care of your family.
yeah,
get
take care of your family.
married.
And like honestly, like, I'm first generation here, so I had even more of a reason to like be that for them. And I did. I went to college, I graduated, I got my shit together, whatever. But like the moment where it changed was when I walked into my house, and I think it was my nephew at the time had us up on the screen for America's Got Talent, and we were all in a Speedo, and I was like, what the fuck? And they were like, what is going on? Yeah. And then that changed everything, and then that's when they started like watching some of our old stuff, and yeah. I
Did they ever find out you went to Mexico 4 times?
Dude, the first time I ever went to Mexico, it was definitely a point of contention with my parents because they're like, dude, we worked so fucking hard to get us on this side of the border. Why the fuck are you going back? And my mom, like in lieu of all the recent like ICE shit, she calls me and she goes, Mijo. I'm like, what? She goes, they're deporting people. I'm like, Mom, they're not gonna deport me. She goes, you don't know that? And I was like, okay, what do you want me to do about it? She goes, carry your passport. She goes, if you have your passport, they probably won't deport you. I was like, Mom, I'm not carrying my passport everywhere. So I have this person I consider a mentor in my life, and I told him about it, and I was like, yeah, my mom's telling me this crazy shit, and he's like, it's probably fine. So she brought it up again like a couple weeks later, and this person I talked to, I told him about it again, and he's like, dude, you should probably listen to her. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, bro. He goes, they're deporting without any sort of like, it doesn't matter. They'll deport you just because you look like you. I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, yeah,
I know
bro.
what he means.
He's like, bro, they'll deport you, and then you just have to get in line to prove that you're actually supposed to be here. It's kind of like one of those things where, like, if you get pulled over by a cop, they'll give you the ticket, and you figure it out in court.
Yep.
Well, the figuring it out in court is living in Tijuana for 2 weeks. So,
Nice.
anyways,
As long as there's a donkey.
I guess.
I think we're planning on having Tifu on next week. That should be very interesting. Merrick's going to be completely lost. You could just, like, roll a blunt for us while we do that. Because
No.
I know Turner.
No, we gotta get him on Arc Raiders, dude.
Arc
If we get Merrick on Arc Raiders,
Yeah, you guys haven't told me you were playing one.
There's no merch yet. That's how backward they are.
I
The
mean,
only
I don't care.
shirt-
It is such a fun game.
It's on
It is-
Etsy.
It is liquid meth for your eyes.
yeah, I don't think that they knew that game was gonna blow up like
no,
it did.
they have no idea.
It's
Yeah.
so fun.
You know, the servers were down all of Christmas Eve.
yeah, and
Christmas
everyone was in
night.
shambles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were down for hours and hours and hours.
I contemplated
Everyone was
buying.
on.
yeah,
I contemplated buying drugs off the street just so I could feel what I feel when I play that game.
that game is fucking sick.
Can you die from the snow in that game?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
so.
I don't like cold.
I don't like
snaps,
that
so.
either. I don't.
All right, we're
I don't
getting
play those.
unhinged.
All right.
I'm gonna assume we'll have Dick on again as like our 15th guest or like
Yeah.
sometime in the future. Just because I feel like having Dick on, we just have endless things that we could talk about. I mean, the trip down memory lane that I personally just went on was incredible. I've enjoyed this so much more than last episode.
Yeah.
So we filmed a prank a long time ago, and it is currently private. on our channel. We told Jugman that we were gonna prank Richard.
Oh yeah.
And then we were gonna smoke. We were gonna get caught smoking in front of Richard.
Smoking weed because
Yeah,
we knew
smoking
he
weed.
was super against it. Yep.
Yeah, because we were still pretty young and everything.
And Turner was like 10 or like
we were-
11.
Yeah. And so we filled a blunt with a bunch of just gar, tobacco and pubes. And
Yes,
they,
pubes.
They actually did it without me. Nick Scholl
And Nick's Gucci.
Yeah, Nick Scholl and Jack rolled this thing up and lit it and saying, "Oh, Richard's gonna come back anytime. Jugman, just keep hitting it." And like, he must have ripped it like 4 or 5 really good, like really hit it. And then he's like,
And then it got to the point where we were just like watching him smoke pubes over and over again. We like started feeling bad. And I was like, hey man, hey, my dad's not coming. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, we got you.
Dude,
And I was like, you're smoking pubes. And Nick's Gucci, and he rips it open and he just starts puking everywhere.
dude,
Puking in the seat.
at one point, wasn't he like, dude, this thing kind of tastes like shit?
Yeah, he said it tastes like shit. I was like, it probably tastes like Gooch.
I got a little bit in there.
That's so fucked up.
That was one of my favorite Dick-related prank memories.
And it had nothing to do with
The idea
it.
was that we were going to prank Dick, but Dick didn't matter at all in that prank.
The fireworks in my bedroom.
Oh,
that wasn't even
my
funny.
God.
That was
the
fucked up.
worst.
In the bedroom, in the office.
We got like the
No, in the
biggest
back
roll
room.
of firecrackers in the world, put them in a steel
Oh, yeah,
trash
yeah,
can, and then lit it on fire
I thought I
inside my
could
dad's
lay in the
bedroom.
bed while it was going off.
It smoked you out.
No, the
Percussion?
waves of the combustion drove me out immediately.
He smoked them out like a bear.
Yeah.
Flashbang.
So
he had
people
like
were
50,000
pissed at me for that. Like people were like genuinely mad that I would do that to Dick, which I think is
Well, it was
insane
my
because he's done
idea,
1,000 things worse than that to us. But we did tell him that we were going to prank him that night.
Yeah, I knew
No one alive knew the extent of what was about to happen when I lit those fireworks. Like that entire room would turn into a black
The smoke
plume.
was this color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the
Oh.
most
No,
No,
okay.
the room, everything in the room
yeah.
was covered in like soot. Like it was.
I have
gnarly.
I have an additional firework related Richard story, which is, remember the time you and Turner spent more money than any human should on fireworks and you stored it all in that room?
They still have that Jack
Oh, yeah,
Joogsquad
yeah.
and Tifu plaque at that Phantom Fireworks off Gandhi.
Yeah. So one year, him and Turner, they bought more fireworks than any. Like it would literally fill this room. Like and
It
like,
filled a U.
and
We had to
like-
rent a U-Haul.
Yeah, and like like up, like it wouldn't just kind of fill the room. It like really filled the room.
Like it would blow up an entire
and,
house.
And me and Jack and I think Merrick was there maybe. Like we're sitting in this room, and Richard, he's there, and we're just like watching him almost in slow motion. We're in the room with so many explosives, and Richard pulls out a Roman candle, and he starts fucking lighting it in the room. And we're like, yo, no, what the fuck are you doing? Dude, like that, the whole house could have gone, bro.
Yeah.
Dick been trying to claim that insurance money for all the time.
That lightning.
I had the insurance company send me a letter one time. And they said, we will not renew you. You have a trampoline. And I wrote back, I have 12. And I didn't get an answer.
And an empty pool.
I think what we're all trying to say is we are going to have a hell of... We're going to have many stories for our grandkids. Thanks to your... how do you describe any of what has happened in the last 15 years of our life in that backyard?
It's because I looked on my phone one day and I said, look, they're at the zoo. It's called YouTube, Jack. And he went and walked
Ever
away.
heard of E-Bombs World, nerd?
How did you learn how to
YouTube.
make TV antennas?
Oh, God.
I had a guy come from L.A. and Ray, I don't remember if you remember Ray,
I don't think
an
so.
old guy. And he was living like a refugee. and didn't have television, so he took in some coat hangers and made an antenna. Well, Omar and I said, that's not. So we started monkeying around with it, started playing
Who's
with
Omar? Who's Omar?
Who?
The people don't know who Omar is.
Omar is the greatest human alive. He worked for me for 10 years and gave me a 2-year notice. 2 years. I will be leaving you, Mr. Tenney. And he's a very successful man down in Miami with 2 children and a wife. Beautiful
Shout out
wife.
Omar. I miss that dude.
Omar's
Anyway,
cool.
so
Omar's
he
cool.
wanted to say. So we decided to make, I saw this antenna where we take 2 strips of copper tape and tape it, and then take speaker wire and tape it to it, and then laminate it. We were using a T-shirt press.
Yep.
And Omar and I took the damn thing and would drive all over, because I was in the laundry business. We would drive all over and put it in the window and test it in the car to make sure it worked. And the thing worked like a champion.
They work so
So I
It worked so
decided-
well that I worked at the flea market for 4 years selling them.
Yes, we did.
So he made 14,000 of them. They sold at $20 a piece.
Dude, we used to walk out of there with pockets full of cash. People thought we were scammers until we were there for years.
We used to spend all Friday night making antennas.
And the whole, somebody came up with it, and that was it. It was called Never Pay for Cable Again, $20. And people buy the thing, and they were happy.
We'd have Jugman or somebody come up with like 40, 50, 60 bucks and be like, I want 6 of them. My dad came and bought one last week, and he said it works so great. And we'd sell them 6
That was
of them.
only when there was a very
Yeah.
large crowd of people that were
And they were being
unsure
like
of whether it worked
And
or
you
not.
always sold out.
All of
I'd
them.
go back to the
We
house and be
always sold
making
out.
them as fast as I could, and then bring them out. You'd sell out every time.
We would take refunds and then immediately sell the one that was just refunded to us. Except one time, the guy cut it up.
open.
Yeah.
And then Eric Cartman chased him down, said, "You destroyed my product." It had like all the parts
directions.
in it written down, everything that was used to make it. And he chased him down and demanded that the guy give him the money back, that we just refunded him. And the guy said no. So Eric punches him in the face, lays him out in the middle of the wagon wheel, and walks away. Comes back and goes, "Oh." We're like, "What happened?" He's like, "I've knocked that guy out." Like, what are you talking about? Why? He's like, "He stole from us." And then Eric later went on to steal about $600 worth of quarters from my dad's house.
So someone,
Full circle.
this lady bought an antenna from me, a big one. We were making some other big ones, and calls me and says it's not working. So I take Omar over there, and Omar goes up and puts it up like 20 feet and turns it, and everything comes in clear as a bell. And she goes, "Well, you motherfucking cocksucker." And I was like stunned. I had gotten a litany of curse words quicker, faster than anyone in the history of man. And she said that she was losing her house.
Was that Debbie?
Yeah. And she was losing her house, and we gave her a job at another part of the flea market that was called the Mustang area.
Yep.
And we saved her house. But she
worked for you for
was
years,
the
right?
white bitch.
White
because
bitch. Yep.
every word out of her mouth was a curse word.
Yeah.
And she smoked like a chimney, and we antiqued her a couple times, which he'll put that on the
good,
video.
too.
You'll
He did.
see it. But she was a character, and she passed, by the way.
No.
Rest
Yeah.
in peace,
For
Debbie.
those of you that don't know what antiquing is,
Yeah, but if, like
There
her,
you go.
we've got her on tape. That some of it's
so good. And she'd
Oh,
be
my
screaming while we did it, so her whole mouth would be full of flour,
Yeah.
dude.
antiquing is
And we literally called her the white bitch, and she liked it. So it wasn't like we were doing it to be mean or put her down, because we helped her out. I mean, saved her house with TV antennas
Edwin
at
was
the
gonna-
flea market.
I was going to say antiquing is where you take a handful of flour and you throw it at someone so it looks like they're covered in dust, like an antique.
Usually after water or another substance too, you know. So
Yeah. It was.
You can just do it.
It was one of the Richard classics, along with sneaking up on you with a quote unquote pie, but the pie was actually just like a plastic, like a paper plate with the shaving cream all over it.
You just end up getting bitch slapped.
Yeah, and he just sneak up on you and just fucking hit. And the fucked up thing is,
I can hit you from 10 feet.
Oh yeah, he had crazy aim, but he's like Steve Aoki with those stupid cakes. But like, dude, the thing that was fucked up about it is I think he intentionally bought the shaving cream that had like menthol in it, so when it got in your eyes, it burned. You're like,
in your mouth too. It's horrible.
Couldn't it have been like?
I just got what's his name? Who's the idiot that went to jail in the Philippines?
Oh,
Vitali. I smoked him like a mullet.
You got Ross.
I got him right there, and then
Vitaly,
he was
Mr.
in the back
Beast.
of the truck, and I got him from 15 feet out, hit him right in the kiss.
That was one of the best pies of all time. He's like, old man, you can't catch me. You're going to hurt yourself. And then just, and then he's just sitting there like,
Vitaly?
yeah.
I didn't see that.
I know, he never
so
showed
good.
it. It's great. It's unbelievable.
Yo,
Me getting pulled over with Vitaly was pretty legendary.
I got one last Richard story, right? Because we're about to pull up on an hour, but it was the one that I told the last time we filmed something like this. Like we tried filming this episode one time before, and we told the story before, but it's a good story, so I want to bring it up. It was the time where, at the time, somebody had stolen from you. It was like he had like a secret stash of money. Very few people knew about it. So one of our friends took it, and it was a big issue, whatever. So basically everyone was blacklisted from the house. And so knowing that it wasn't me, and knowing that Richard was somebody that I needed to at least go and explain that to, I was like, hey, so I showed up to the house one time, and I was actually with a girl. I don't know why I brought her, but anyways, she was there. And it was actually the first time I ever hung out with this girl. So I don't know why my bright idea was to bring her over to Richard to be a part of this.
It's always nicer to you when you have a girl.
Yeah, I guess. But anyway, so I come over and I'm with this chick, and it's like the first time we had just gotten food, like things are going great. I'm like, I gotta have this conversation real quick. Let me stop by Richard's house. So I go up to Richard and I'm like, hey man, I'm here. I just want to let you know, it clearly wasn't fucking me, this and that. And he looks at me, and we're outside by the little patio, near the pool and stuff. He goes, you got your phone on you? I'm like, yeah. He goes, give it to me. I'm like, why? He goes, you're not recording this conversation. I'm like, yeah, sure, dude. I was like, I got nothing to hide. So I give him my phone, and so he's like, come with me. So we're walking away from the girl. The girl is just standing where we just were. And as we walk by the pool, he fucking shoves me into it, fully clothed, shoes on, in front of this chick I just started hanging out with. And I'm like, well, I get out of the room. I'm like, what the fuck? And he looks at me. He goes, I know it's not you, idiot. And he walks away. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Valid.
Dude, and then I never talked to that chick ever again.
And he also, he wasn't worried that you were recording the conversation at all.
No.
He just has always, I've heard every excuse in the book as to why he needs to see your phone.
Yeah.
And to a certain point, we're all like, I have my phone on me. Because,
Yeah.
And every now and again, he would still push you in the pool with your phone in your pocket.
Yeah. So I guess I appreciate you saving my phone, but you definitely, that was.
Was it cold water?
No. It was whatever. I think what you did was the colder part of that, to be honest.
Well,
What you're saying, I should have pushed the girl in also.
I think that things might have gone a little better if you did. But, I think after that, I got in my car soaking wet, and I dropped her off, and I was like, I guess I'm never talking to that chick ever again. And I never did. So that was my last dick story for the day.
I'm going to say, please be sure to join us for episode 1 of the Arc Raiders podcast. No, next week we're going to have Turner on. Again, drop your comments down below of who you would like to see on this podcast. Like the shit out of it. Click the subscribe button. Send it to a friend or two. These podcasts are going to progressively get higher production value, crazier, smoke machines, whoopee cushions, strippers, slap boxing, cheese sandwich. Maybe not strippers, but all those other things definitely.
Should we do something like top question gets asked?
Yeah, you guys,
If you have
Questions are important.
most liked question,
We
we'll
read
ask.
all the comments on new projects of everything. Honestly, I read all the comments on every video for the first week. Obviously, going back to a video I posted 10 years ago, and catching up is ridiculous. But like, we're always
does
looking for your guys' feedback. It's very important to us. Stand-up comedy links are in the description. By the time this podcast is out, you might only have a day or two to buy tickets to our first stand-up show ever. All of our socials are in the description. You can follow us.